actually see the comments because YouTube is weird. Hi, Derek. Hi. Welcome in. Say hello if you're here. Good evening, good night, depending on where you are. Tonight I am working on a hand-knit blanket. And I'm realizing it is incredibly big. I hadn't planned on this being so big. But too far gone to go back now. I'm working on a hand knit blanket. I am giving this to my younger cousin as a birthday gift. He just went away to college a couple weeks ago, and today is his birthday, and he decided he wanted to come home because he didn't want to celebrate his birthday at college. So at his college, so he came home. So I wanted to make him a blanket to take back with him. Have a little something from home with him. But I made this blanket a little bit too big. I started it earlier today, and then I took a break because I went to go see Fantastic Four with my sons. And then I come back, and I'm hoping to finish this in the next hour or so. But we will see. I haven't made a blanket since earlier this year, and I don't remember how long it took me to do these. It was usually like 2 hours, 1 to 2 hours. This is definitely a little bit bigger than what I normally did. My plan is to have this be like a size of his bed, like a twin size bed, but I'm realizing that's a lot. So we're gonna use what we have, see how it comes out. But we have roughly 35 loops wide. So I don't know, it was like 40 inches wide. I don't know how wide it is now. I feel like it tends to stretch and grow as you knit more. So we'll have to check it out in a few minutes. But the length of a twin size blanket is like 90 inches this way, and I'm feeling like that's a little aggressive considering that I think I'm at like close to 30 inches, and I might think I would have to do like another third of this. I don't know if I want to do that. So, but I did ended up I bought 4 skeins of yarn. I did end up buying one more to make it 5. I got these from Hobby Lobby, so they are a little bit smaller. They're not the super big balls of yarn, but I think they're like 28 yards in a skein of yarn. So, and I added some black using some leftover scrap fabric or scrap yarn. I got the black in here because he said black was his favorite color. He doesn't actually know that I'm making him this blanket. And I was like, black is boring. And then I found this kind of marled print, which is what I was kind of looking for anyways. And I had this extra left over, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna try to do that, thinking that I wasn't planning on going back to the store to get more of this one, but I ended up doing that because we went to see Fantastic Four, and there was a store right next door, and I didn't think about that at the time, but there was one right next door, so I was able to go inside and buy one more thing of yarn. So, but I feel like 5 is aggressive. Yeah, he's a sweet kid. I think he'll be super excited. He's a very, like, kind of sentimental kid. He's turning 18 today, so I want to do a little something for the kiddo. So my goal is to be done. My goal is to go to bed at midnight every day, but my goal is to get most, or not 90% of this done by midnight. Oh yeah, I definitely love making gifts, and I feel like for me, because some people make gifts and then they be looking crazy, but I do like to kind of make things when I can, but not as like a way to not spend money, because this gift was still, even though I'm making it, the yarn was not on sale, which is very unfortunate. So 4 or 5 of these was like 30-40 bucks. Make sure you guys tap the screen. It looks like I have 10 people in the room and I have 0 likes. I know you can tap the screen. I think tapping the screen gives you hearts, I think. But I know you can also like the live by clicking the 3 dots in this corner. And there is a button there for you to like the live, which will kind of help me get more people in the room. It kind of sends off a message that people like what I'm showing today. So if you could like the live, if you could double tap your screen to send hearts to the live, I would appreciate all of those things. This blanket is going to be massive. Oh, bit of yarn. Maybe it won't be that big. So this is what it looks like. That's what my yarn looks like. Let's keep going. And yeah, I am glad I got one more thing of yarn, because from here to here, with the length of this blanket was the width of this blanket was 1 skein of yarn. So thinking that I'm going to get double, I'm going to get another like 4 or 5 rows here, and 1. So yeah, I think I have enough to do. This one here will give me another, like, about 5 inches. I'll get another 5 inches. I have a little bit of black left. I feel like I'm just going to leave black on the other side. And then that's going to be it, because I'm not spending any more money on yarn. Thank you for the like, whoever stopped by and clicked the button. I appreciate you. And YouTube makes it easy for you guys to support the creators that you are watching on live. So there is super chat thanks on the bottom, like near the comment section. And then there's also like a gift gallery. So you can send gifts using rubies, and you can gift the lives that you're watching with rubies or super chats, which are both located on the bottom of your screen near the chat section. But if you just stop by, you say hi, you say what I'm working on, what are you guys doing. Thank you so much for the flow and heart. I appreciate you. I I appreciate that. So just like Derek, you can send gifts to support the live. Derek sent a thumbs up and a floating heart. And there's also super chats and super thanks that helps highlight your comments. So I appreciate all of those things. They help support my channel and support my small micro business. But today I am working on a gift. I am not working on an order. I'm going to knit this little blanket for my cousin to take back with him to college on Monday. Ideally, I want to finish it tomorrow because I believe he's staying with his dad, maybe, and his dad lives far. So I'm like, I need you to come be available tomorrow to pick this up or me to drop it off to you because, yeah. And so when you're hand knitting, I like to lay my project flat on the table. Sorry, this fluff is making my nose itchy. I like to lay my stuff flat on the table and pull my yarn straight up through the loop. You have to make sure that you don't have to make sure. It's important to me that I knit the same way. Yes, especially, I think he is at, I keep saying this wrong. I think he's at Wright State. So it's a little bit south, little bit more south than where we are in Ohio. So, but Columbus gets cold. It doesn't get cold as some other places, but he's not far enough south to where it to make a difference. Like he's not close enough to Kentucky for it to make a big enough difference. So he definitely will appreciate it. But I went to college at Kent State, and that's a whole different level of cold than it is in Columbus, Ohio, because there's Great Lakes and lake effect and everything else up there. I don't think where he's at, he has to worry about it being any colder than what we have here in Columbus, so that'd be good for him, because I was not prepared for the cold weather in Northeast Ohio, especially considering that I'm from Mississippi. I was not prepared on how much colder it was going to be than Columbus. So I feel like he's in a good spot, but this is definitely something cozy. I've spent many of days wrapped in a blanket in my dorm room getting through math homework because Lord, math was a struggle for me. But yeah, these blankets are very, very warm. So that's why I'm also hoping that I can catch up with him tomorrow, so I don't have to worry about trying to catch him before he goes back to school on Monday, because these blankets are very lofty. Thank you so much for the hearts. I can't really see who's sending the hearts, but I appreciate you. I think all you have to do, whoever sent the hearts, can you let me know? Are you double tapping the screen, or are you having to do something else to send the hearts? These blankets get very big, and I don't like to ship them. I made a sweater, a jacket, using this yarn for someone who asked me to make it for them, and I had to ship it to them. I have to like vacuum seal it because it gets so double tapping. Thank you so much. So double tapping is how you send the hearts. I had to like vacuum seal the package because this gets so lofty. So I'm like, I need to get this done before he leaves, because I do not want to have to send it to him, because it literally like fits into no packages. You have to like vacuum seal it for it to fit. Thank you so much for the hearts. I really appreciate you. I appreciate everybody who is watching the live, who's stopping by. Make sure you follow my channel. It is Sewing with Tay. I do have tutorials for hand knit blankets on my channel for free, and I do have my hand knit cardigan tutorial on my YouTube channel for free. My latest hand knit project is a hand knit teddy bear. That one, there is a preview on my YouTube channel, but it is a tutorial that is for sale on my website. It is $8. So for under $10, you can learn a craft and a project that you can take and monetize for yourself. if you're interested in how to make a blanket, there's a ton of tutorials. I have quite a few tutorials, different types of stitches for hand knit blankets on my YouTube channel. But literally making the blanket, the hardest part about making a blanket is getting started, which is making the chain stitch and making your first row. But like once you do that, it's pretty easy. You literally just do this like pulling method all the way through. And that's what I was saying before about your stitches. You want to make sure that you're pulling your yarn up and not pushing it down if you choose to. So I like to pull mine up because I think it's easier for me to pull them up. But if you, sorry, the fuzziness from the blanket has me ready to sneeze. Pulling it up is easier for me, and I like to do it that way because you get to see your knit stitches facing you. But if you're okay with seeing your purl stitches on the back, you can push it down towards the table, but that's not my preference. You just want to make sure that whatever your preference is, that you continue to do it the same way. You either push it up or push it down, but you can't do down and up. You can if you want to, that's your business. But if you do that way, then you will have knit stitches and purl stitches mixed together. And for me, that's not ideal, but if that's what you want to do, you can do that. Otherwise, you want to make sure you do them the same way. There's 24 people in the room and I have 2 likes. The likes are free. All you have to do is hit the button. You hit the 3 dots in the top corner. The like button is there. YouTube has to fix that. I think they know that it's not ideal. It doesn't make it easy for people to like the live. But I'd appreciate it if you like the live, because then it lets other people know that I'm doing something that people want to see or that they might find interesting. So if you like the live, I will answer any questions you have about hand knitting. I am a designer, if you've never been to my live before. I am a corporate technical designer, so I'm not like a conceptual designer outside of my side business. I have a small business where I would consider myself slightly a conceptual designer. But at my day job, I am a technical designer, meaning that I am a executor. I have a designer that I work with, and they will present to me ideas, concepts, what they would like, and then I take that information, I provide it to the factories, tell the factories how we want our clothes made, how we want our seams done. They send it to me. I evaluate that sample on a fit model. I give them feedback on how to make it better, make sure they're meeting our aesthetic, request, our vision. And my designer will give me feedback, like I think we should change this, or I think we should change that. I communicate those things back to our overseas partners, and they communicate with the factories, and then they will resubmit a sample, and then we do that back and forth until a garment goes to production. Oh, thank you. They can tap the screen multiple times and it will like the live video as well. Thank you. I'm still learning the vertical the vertical YouTube live format, because it's definitely different than what I have seen on TikTok. I don't go live often, so I'm learning as I go, but I appreciate that. So double tapping the screen multiple times will like the live video as well. I appreciate that. I was just like, I don't know why they make it so complicated. Why is there not a like button that you could just push to say that you like the live? And YouTube makes it easy to support creators, as I already said. At the bottom of the screen, next to your comment box, there's a little gift box. They do have a gifting gallery that you can buy rubies and send gifts to your favorite creators, content creators, or artists that you follow on the YouTube platform. And they also have super chats, super thanks. You can send support to your favorite creators, podcasters, etc. while they are live on YouTube. So all of those things are located at the bottom of the screen near the chat box. Oh, that was quick. I'm almost done with this one. I said I didn't think these used to take me very long, so I'm like, hopefully these can go quickly, because I'm standing because my table is long enough for the blanket to stay in here, but I actually like to sit on the short end of the table. So it's easier for me if I stand and do this, because then it's easier to move the blanket back and forth, because there's a loop here. That's not good. It makes it easier to navigate this blanket since it is so big. Okay. We're down to the end of another one. I'm actually going to switch. I have like about this much left of black. So we'll see what we can squeeze in here. And then I think we'll finish it with the multicolor because we have one more left. I don't know if I have any more black left. I think they're all, oops, I think it's all in this bucket. Thank you, Derek, for sending a thumbs up. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Derek is sending gifts from the gift gallery. I've seen people do incentives for the gift gallery, but I don't know what I would have to offer. Some people are like, I'll do a dance if you send a gift from the gift gallery. I don't know if I really want to dance, but I wonder, how do you keep it interesting in the platform to, you know, incentivize sending gifts and supporting the creators that you're watching. We currently have 17 people in the room. Thank you to those of you who are double tapping the screen and sending likes. I appreciate that. Hopefully, as I go live more often, I will get used to this, build a rapport, have some repeat offenders. I think Derek has been here before. Just because you're awesome, thank you. I appreciate you. I really do. I'm like, today this project is kind of like a calming thing. It's clinically proving that hand knitting puts your mind in a state of calm. So it's like this repetitive like behavior over and over again kind of triggers you to like relax. So I enjoy doing some hand knit products in the time frame where I'm like taking a like mental break from working on like other projects. There is a loop right here. I'm gonna lose that one. When I started this live earlier, I had the most people I think I've ever had in a live. It was like 40 people. I was like, whoa, that's crazy. So I appreciate you guys for hanging around, because it is getting late. It's a Saturday night. You could be doing anything else, but you are sitting here watching me hand knit. So for that, I am definitely grateful, because my goal is to grow my community, introduce more people to art and crafting and keeping art alive in a time when we all need something that makes us happy. And art is definitely one of those things. Today I am anxiously waiting. I am using this project to calm, reset, clear the brain waves, because I had a bridal alteration order that I had a multiple bridal order, but a bridal alteration and custom dress order that I finished last weekend, but I was so stressed out trying to get it done, making sure there's perfect, multiple fittings, and the wedding was today. And I have been like stalking their social media, waiting for the pictures, and I did one of the bridesmaids alterations as well, and she started posting on her stories, and I could see the dress, and I was just like, oh, it's like mind relieving. Like, she wore the dress, everything's perfect, nobody's yelling at me, like she loved it, we're good. So I'm like, this is a great way to like reset after finishing a really big order. No, I'm doing every loop. It's skipping every other loop of thing. I don't know. Hand knitting, I can hand knit a few things, but I am not like an expert knitter by any shape, mean, or uniform. I know how to hand knit. I understand concepts of knitting. I do have a degree in fashion design, and since I have a concentration in technical design and product production and manufacturing, I do have some experience using like hand knitting machines, but I actually have not done that in like 10 years. So my actual knowledge on actual hand knitting, or not hand knitting, just knitting in general, is very limited. So I can do hand knitting. I can do like some different blanket designs like crisscross and like a weave texture, but as far as like technical knowledge when it comes to knitting, it is very limited. Knitting is definitely a specialty in the design world. If you know how to deal with the technicalities of sweaters and like knitting, you will always have a job in technical design. I promise you that. Alright, let's see. Okay, we can keep going. So no, I'm not skipping every other loop. I'm just knitting every loop. I'm literally just going down through my loop here and pulling the yarn straight up. I like to keep my working yarn on the table flat, so all you have to do is just grab your loop and pull it through. It makes it go a lot quicker in my opinion. I do teach this hand knit blanket class. It's an in-person class because for me, at this age, whenever I'm learning something new, I almost prefer to be in person. And I feel like a lot of people probably learn better that way. So I offer this as an in-person class. And I feel like a lot of people struggle because they always are trying to knit and they're trying to hold it like this. And I'm just like, just put it down. All you have to do is pull the yarn up. Find your loop, pull it up. Make sure you didn't skip any loops. But it's so much easier if you just keep your yarn flat on the table. So whichever direction I'm knitting, I pull my yarn that direction. So literally all I have to do is pull it up. Straight up. And I have my yarn in like a box on the floor because it rolls around and it's easier than having it rolling around on your table while you're trying to do this. So I put it in a box, I let it roll in the box around all it needs to, but I pull up like a bit of it on the table so that it's easier just to pull that loop up when you're ready to knit. And then now I've made it to this end, I'm going to pull my yarn this way. So this yarn is going this direction. And I'm going to start here. And I'm going to keep going. And yeah, it's pretty easy. Thank you to whomever is tapping the screen. I appreciate all the hearts. You can just double tap your life away. I appreciate it so much. And again, for those of you who are left in the room, we have dropped down to only 10 people, but I appreciate y'all for watching. You can support me as a creator by sending gifts from the gift gallery. And I know if I did this on my computer, there's options on there that you can see and set goals for. But I do like doing this on my phone because you can see the comments a little easier. When I've tried to go live on YouTube using other devices, I struggle to be able to see the comments and the video. Okay. I think this is the last piece of black. I do think I actually have some gray yarn. That might be cool to pull in like a row of gray. What do you guys think? I'll have to look and see what shade of gray, if it fits within this scheme. But it might be cool to have a gray stripe along with the black stripe. If I'm trying to meet my length, I don't think I'm going to make 90 inches, but we can get closer. He's tall, but he's not that tall, so I'm not that concerned about it being too short. And it could be a throw, just something to say, you know, I thought of you, wanted you to have a little something from home. That loop was a little too big. Okay, I think we're at the end of our yarn here. Now let's see what we have. Here's an example of a cardigan. I made this last year and it did not sell. Well, I'm not gonna say I made this last year. I made this in February. So here's this guy. This is all hand knit. And this is my hand knit teddy bear. This is what I have a tutorial for on my website. So for $8, you will get the tutorial on how to make you a little hand knit teddy bear. And you'll see it just has stitches just like my blanket does. It's all the same techniques. It's a little bit extra for the arms and legs and ears. But otherwise, this is what my hand knit teddy bear looks like. I think I have another one here. This is a little blanket that I did make. This is one of the gray ones, but I don't know if I like that color. I made this last year. I keep saying last year, like this year is just like over. This actually happened like all the earlier half of this year. I made this granny square. I was gonna make more. I just got very overwhelmed. This is a lot more detailed when it comes to knitting. This is like crochet stitches and things, and it took me a while to get double crochet, half crochet, all of those things. But this is my little granny square, or big granny square, to be more specific. I don't know if I have any black. I do have this colorful yarn here. I do have some gray. I like this gray a lot better than the other gray. Not a lot there though. There is some black though. Something I started and didn't finish. Here's a little purse that I hand knit. It's a little weave thing, but I was testing out hand knitting bags. This is a different type of yarn. It is a chunky yarn, but it's more like a filament. It has a filling. So that's what this is. Then I have this bag that I hand knit as well. This is like a basket weave. Again, this is also using filament yarns, but literally kind of the same thing as the other one, but this here is used like, you gotta have something to like put inside of here and then hand knit around it and then take it out. But this was also a hand knit project of mine. I don't actually know if those are on my YouTube channel. I do have purple. Alright, let's see what we have here. I don't know what I was making with this. This looks like it has part of a cast off on it. If you want to take this out, you have to take the cast off, which is You have to take off the loop and then pull it and take the loop off. There we go. Take the loop off, take the loop off, and then pull these things through here. Trying to see if I can get through all of this scrap fabric and clear out some of my space in here. There we go. Almost there. Okay, now we should be able to just pull this out. And I'm going to cut that. Save this for later because I want to do a hand knit pumpkin. Alright. So now we're just going to pull this out. This is a workout because my shoulders is a little tired already. I took a Pilates class for the first time today. So I'm like a little tight in the shoulders. Alright, that's the end of it. Alright, we can keep going with a little more black. Fill this section in some. Make sure we cut off our tails when we tie it on. There's multiple ways that you can do this. I prefer to tie on, but some people like to burn it and stick them together. I don't like to do that because it gives like a plastic melty smell, which I don't like. So I prefer to just tie them. Alright, let's keep going. How many people do we have in the room? 14. If I could have everybody in the room double tap the screen to send some hearts to help promote the live, let people know that I am doing something in the live that people might want to see, I would appreciate that. Also, if you want to support my channel, support my page, you can send super thanks, which is located at the bottom of the screen next to the little comment section, or you can just stop by and say hi. There is also a gifting gallery on here, and you can send gifts using rubies from from YouTube. Alright, let's go back. It's 11:17. Will I be done by 12 o'clock? Maybe not. This yarn, this last piece that I just took apart, seems like a lot, but I don't know. I think it'd probably add like maybe 1-2 rows to this little black section, which I am 100% okay with. Just a little something extra to help get closer to, okay, this one little piece of string, I keep trying to pick it up and it's just not. Help me get closer to the length I was originally thinking, which was 90 inches, but that's a little aggressive. Oh, there's another one. Sometimes you get these strings from the inside of the yarn. It's kind of how they are attached, how the fuzzy is attached. So sometimes you get this extra string hanging around, and I don't like it. So pull it off or cut it off. go back this way. We might have one more row than what was this black yarn. Once we finish this one, we'll do a length check. See how much length do we have so far. Please guys, please keep double tapping the screen to send hearts and likes to help promote the live. I am working to go live more often, and this is so big. I'm working to go live more often to build a community, to have people who are excited about projects I'm working on, giving me suggestions on type of projects you guys want me to show on live or show on my channel. It is Sunday tomorrow, so I need to figure out what am I going to do. I need to make a long form video. Do you guys have any thoughts of opinions on what my next long form video should be? Making long form video takes so much time. You have to record it, you have to edit it, but it is fun once you get it all done. Alright, we just got to the end. Let's see. Oh, we might have some more. We got some more. We can keep going. It's a Saturday night. What is everyone doing? Are you just watching me on live? Are you sharing this live with your friends and your fellow crafters? I was cutting some red fabric. It's actually right here. It's causing red fluff to get on the blanket. Getting the extra fluff off of here is so difficult. Alright, can we keep going? Yep. We still got more yarn. We're doing okay. So we'll pull the yarn that way. Keep going. If you guys have any questions about hand knitting or about sewing, anything you want to chat about, any questions, okay, we haven't made it to the end again. I think we can still keep going. I'm trying to keep an eye on when we get to the end and how much yarn we have left, because I want to avoid, as much as possible, ending in the middle of the row, having to add the multicolor yarn in the middle of the row. But it is fine if I have to, because it does have black in it and it kind of blends well. But ideally, I would like to start at the end of a row or the beginning of a row. Alright, make sure you do not skip any loops. That is terrible. You can fix it, but you want to make sure you don't miss any. We got 19 people in the room and we only have 3 likes, guys. Double tap the screen, see if you can send any likes, any hearts. Help to promote the live to get more people to the room. I understand it's a Saturday night. People probably have better things to do. We made it to the end again. I don't know if we're going to make it all the way through this time. So it might be a situation, as I mentioned, where we're going to have to start in the middle. Not ideal, but it is okay. Yep, we did not make it to the end. Got about that much left. Alright, let's see what we have so far. Just a rough estimate. We're at about 56. So definitely a little bit on the shorter side, but it is wide. It's wider than I originally wanted it to be. So you can always turn the blanket the other way if you really want to. Now what I do with my yarn. There it is. Tie it in a knot, cut our tails, bada bing. Roll you back up as much as we can. Pull that back up off of there a little bit. There we have it. So this is our last one. So with this one, we have to account for the cast off, which will take more yarn than just the loops. So I like to say about double the length. So you don't want to knit all the way down to the end. You want to save yourself about twice the width of your blanket in yarn so that you can do your cast off. And since my yarn is down on the floor, I have to kind of keep an eye on it, on how much is actually left. It's 11:28. All right, let's keep going. I just thought about it. I have to do some embroidery this weekend. I want to embroider my son's hat for baseball. way back. And when you lay it flat on the table, you have the ability to go a lot faster. You just hold down. At least in my opinion, I feel like I can go faster when my yarn and my loops are flat on the table. And I'm literally just pulling the yarn up through the loops. Make sure you guys double tap the screen, send hearts, let other people know that my live has something interesting going on. Maybe you want to watch it. So make sure you guys double tap the screen to send hearts. This morning, I had a girl who double tapped the screen so much, I ended up with almost 50 people in my room. I was shocked. That was the most people I've ever had in my life. In general, even on my TikTok page. I think it's something about these fibers from this yarn that makes your mouth dry. I don't know if it's the talking or is it being on live talking, but my mouth is so dry. I just like stop and drink my water. Going. Pull your yarn to the other side. Currently have 19 people in the room. Thank y'all so much for staying with me and watching. Afterwards, after this live goes off, it will be live. It will be on my video, so you can also go back and rewatch it if there's a part that you would like to re-see. Okay, we're getting close to the end. We'll try one more row and see how much yarn do we have left. The hardest thing about making hand knit blankets is getting started and finishing. So we have to do a cast off stitch to finish it. I've seen people do it a couple different ways, so I'm just going to show you the way that I like. And then we're going to wrap up this live. Alright, we have a couple more loops here. Alright, finish the row. Take a sip of my water. See what we have left. Yep, because this is all that we have left after going back and forth like double. So sometimes you need a little bit more than double. So we're gonna leave it just like this. And I guess the yarn is down here. Ah, no, my iPad fell. See if I can pick it up without unplugging it. There we go. All right, so here we are. Can you see that? This is where we are. So now we're gonna start a cast off. So we're gonna knit. This is my last stitch. You can see that because it's coming out of there. We're gonna take our 2 fingers inside of our loop, make a new loop. Make a new loop. So we're going to work 2 loops at a time. New loop, old loop. New loop, old loop. This is the one I just made. This is my new loop. It's going to go over top of the old loop. So you're going to pull this loop through this one. But see how this got really big? You don't want that to happen. So pull that tight. Make sure it's snug in there. So, but you don't want to be too tight. So you're going to take the new loop over the old one. And then you're going to take your working yarn and you're going to pull it through to make a new loop. New loop over the old one. Knit 1 loop. New loop over the old one. Make a new loop. And we just keep doing that all the way to the end. New loop over the old one. Make a new loop. New loop over the old one. Make a new loop over the old one. New loop over the old one. New loop. And you will see you start to get like this braid. Alright, new loop over the old. Just gonna keep going all the way till we get to the end. Make sure you do not miss a loop, because if you miss a loop, you're gonna have to take it all out. You do not want to do that. You don't want this to be too tight because you don't want it to be pulling in, making this like too tight. So you just want to make sure that it's not too loose. You don't want any extra like gapping, but you don't want it to be too tight that it's like scrunching up your blanket. We're just gonna keep going. And I also make sure you don't lose a loop. Like that one came apart a little bit. I also like to keep these kind of tight because you don't want to run out of yarn. So you don't want to use too much yarn to do your cast off, because we only have a limited amount here, because we only saved like 2.5 widths of this yarn. So even now I feel like I'm getting very close to the end. So I want to make sure that I'm not wasting any yarn by having my loops be too big. I probably have like another 10 or so loops to finish, and we have about that much yarn left over. So carefully. I think we're going to be fine, but we're going to have just enough. See how this is a little, that should have been a little bit tighter, but it's fine. Alright, we're at our last 2 loops. So new loop, over the old one, and then you have one loop left. You're going to take that working yarn and you're going to pull it all the way through and then pull. So this is how much yarn we had left over. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to cut about that much, and then I am going to weave it into this braid that we just made to tuck the end. Tuck it and tuck it. This might have been a little aggressive on the length, it's a little long. I'm going to tuck that right in there, just like that. So my yarn is tucked inside. And you also want to do that on the side that you started with. This is where we started. I'm going to take this yarn and I'm going to tuck it into here. Tuck that right on the inside. Alright. Let's see what we got here. This is our blanket. It's pretty big. It was supposed to go this way though. It's still pretty big, but not as long as I wanted it to be. Such a math thing to figure out the right length and width and how much it's going to stretch. But let's see what we have here. This was 35 loops wide. So it's about 53 inches wide. And total length is threads everywhere. It's about 62 inches. So it's almost a square, it's a little bit off. Whew. It's 11:42 and I'm done. So this is what we have here for the blanket. And when I say that it's pretty big, it's hard to put this into a box to ship to someone. So, and even if you wanted to like fold it, like how big that is. Massive. See if I can do a better job of folding this. Have it. Now, I thought I was going to put a ribbon on this. Hi, the Shadow Clan. Welcome back. This is your third time joining my live. This is my fourth time going live, so I appreciate you. So we just finished our blanket. It is this big. So this is why I was very dedicated on getting this finished today, because who's shipping this? Who's shipping that? Imagine putting this in a box. No. So, how are you, the Shadow Clan? Welcome back. I love the pink hands. It is very soft. It is very cozy. It is very, very, very warm. It's funny because I mentioned earlier today that I made one of these for my mom who has kidney disease, and she's like always cold, and she took a vacation from work this week, and she posted a picture online, and it was her under her blanket in the middle of August. Okay, I don't think I can fold this in fourths. It's like, it's a little too much, I think. Try one more time. But yes, they're very soft. I do really love these blankets. They're really comfortable. I thought I had a ribbon or something. I don't know if I actually do. I don't know if I have anything I could actually tie this up with. Tie it up like a, you know, like a bakery box. Yes, she's doing very well. She's been having some issues with her kidney disease, but she has been doing very well. She's been on the kidney transplant list for 3.5 years, and they're saying for Ohio, that's around the time that people tend to see a kidney. So they said maybe by the end of the year, prayerfully. But she's not on dialysis. She's been having some issues, but she's not on dialysis. She has some circulatory issues, P.A.E, stuff like that. But she's managing very well. And she has been diagnosed with kidney disease about 3 years, 4 years, and she stopped smoking within the first like 6 months. So I was like, I never thought that would happen. So I was like, kudos to my mom for putting in that work, because she was a smoker my entire life, and now she's been cigarette free for almost 4 years. Let's see what we got over here. I have this ribbon. That's all I have. So we're gonna see if I can. Yeah, she had to stop smoking when she was diagnosed. And I was just thinking to myself, like, well, that'd never happen. But she did it. And my mom is literally was like, she never had any intention on stopping smoking until she got kidney disease. So anything that helps her get better, I am here for it. I'm gonna tie a string like this. Then we're gonna flip her. So yes, thank you so much. This was my little project for today. It is done, and it is not even midnight. I got time to kill. But here we go. This is his blanket. I made this blanket for my cousin. Today is his 18th birthday, and I joked that he went off to college about 2 weeks ago, and he's home already this weekend. And I'm like, what are you home for? And he's like, well, it's my birthday and I didn't want to celebrate at college by myself, so he came home for the long weekend, and he's going back to school on Monday. So I thought I would make him a blanket for his birthday so he could have something to take back with him. But I do sell these, but more so custom. I have some like hand knit cardigans and things like on my website, and I do these like by request, because usually people want specific colors, so I don't make them just to sell because they're too big to store anywhere. But I do them when people ask me to. But earlier in the live I made this big granny square. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but it's an actual granny square made with this like super chunky yarn. Put all this stuff back now that I'm done. And I have this cardigan that is also hand knit. This is on my website. It's like a hand knit cardi, something warm and super fuzzy that you can wear, a little cute fashion piece. It is on my website. And then I also have these hand knit teddy bears which there's a tutorial on my website. It's $8. It's my first digital tutorial that I'm trying to sell, and it is a hand knit teddy bear. So, thank you. Yes, he turned 18 today. I feel like an old person because I'm like, I don't feel old, but like in the grand scheme of things, I'm like, all of my baby cousins are like getting old, and I was at a point where I was changing all of their diapers, but now they're all like over 18. My website is the AYA Emporium. It's Aya Emporium. It is on my TikTok channel, so if you go to my channel, you can see it there, or if you go to any of my hand knit videos, it's also linked there. But it's the TheAyaEmporium Emporium. And under shop, you can see all the things that I have listed there, with the blanket and not the blanket, the cardigan. And blankets are just TBD. It's more of a custom thing, so you would just have to reach out to me. The email is on my website as well to contact me for a custom order. And the blankets also depend on the size, so some things can be done quicker, some things will take a while depending on how big you want them to be. But yes. But alright guys, I thank y'all for watching my live. Before I head out, if anybody wants to support my live and my future lives, yeah, I hope so. I don't make a ton of them. I actually make more money for blankets teaching people how to do them. I teach in-person handmade blanket classes. I provide the materials, you just show up, and I teach you how to make your own blankets. I have a lot of tutorials on my YouTube here showing people how to make blankets, and also the hand knit cardigan is on there too. The teddy bear is the only tutorial that I have for hand knitting that is not on my YouTube channel. It is for purchase on my website for $8, but there is a preview to the tutorial on my YouTube channel. So I'm hoping this year I get to do more classes, because it's a lot easier to teach people how to do it themselves than to sit for hours and hand knit blankets. So that's the goal, is for me to continue to spread the wealth, teach other people what I've learned, and to help support my business and support my future class endeavors. I take rubies, so there's a live gift gallery at the bottom of the vertical live, and there is also super thanks and super chats that you can send to help support your favorite creator. YouTube has made it very easy to support artists on their platform, so I go live and I can show you guys a new skill, and you can show your appreciation by sending super thanks and rubies from the gift gallery. But it's 11:52. As I tell y'all all the time, my goal is to be in bed by midnight, and I wasn't sure if I was going to get this done, but I did. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much to Shadow Clan. I appreciate you for stopping by. And there's 26 of you guys in here, so I appreciate y'all for stopping by. You can rewatch the live. I post all of my lives on my channel after I get done with them. So if you want to rewatch the live, you want to rewatch the start to finish of this blanket, you can go to my page, Sewing with T.A.E, that's T.A.E, to watch all of my previous lives and any of my tutorials. But good night guys, happy almost Sunday, and I will see y'all tomorrow.